From perpetual machines to computers, artificial intelligence, and self-landing rockets, we all have been amazed by the newly advanced, sophisticated technology every now and then. But what we often overlook is ourselves, the human body, which is so complex that in a National Geographic article, it described the human brain is more complex than any other known structure in the universe. And that's just only one organ. Our body consists of 11 organ systems and about 78 organs, not to mention many other known and unknown structures and molecules. So here are 7 random but important knowledge that we should know about ourselves. Do you know all of our red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets are produced from the spongy part at the center of a bone? Yeah, the bone marrow. It produces pluripotent stem cells, which divide into myeloid and lymphoid progenitor cells, from which all the blood cells are formed through successive division. The bone marrow of long bones like femur or humerus are typically active in children, but as in adults, these are replaced by fat and no longer produce the cells. But those of skull, vertebrae, ribs, sternum, and pelvic or hip bones are actively producing the stem cells throughout the life. That's why stem cell transplant is carried out in people having problems with bone marrow or blood cells. And like all the other muscles in our body, the heart muscle can work independently even without the brain's help, thanks to its own conducting system. But there's a trick. The sinus node in the right upper chamber produce electric impulses, which stimulate both the heart upper chamber's atria to contract and pump blood. But the signal does not directly reach the lower chambers. There is an AV node in between, which causes a delay in the conduction so that the ventricles pump the blood after the atria have contracted, maintaining the heart's regular pumping rhythm. And this system fails, that's when an artificial pacemaker is placed to keep up the heart beating pace. Not peacemaker, but pacemaker. Our teeth consist of 3 layers, but we're gonna look at the uppermost one, the enamel, the white visible part, which is the hardest substance in the entire human body. It is composed mainly of a mineral called hydroxyapatite, but the acid produced by the plaque buildup on the enamel is even stronger, leading to tooth decay over time. That's why we need to use fluoride-containing toothpaste, because the fluoride ion combines with the hydroxyapatite, forming fluoroapatite, which is a much more resistant substance against dental caries. We know our kidneys remove waste from the blood and form urine, but the kidneys do even more. They secrete erythropoietin, which stimulate the red blood cell production in the bone marrow. Interesting, right? But there's more. The kidneys secrete renin that activates the renin-angiotensin system, which regulate the blood pressure and blood volume. They also convert the vitamin D into its active form, 1,2,5-dihydroxyvitamin D3 or calcitriol. The skin produces vitamin D, but the kidneys activate it.
Wow!
Therefore, the kidney diseases can lead to anemia, blood pressure problems, and vitamin D deficiency. Do you know sunscreen with high SPF looks dark under ultraviolet light? Well, that's happened because it absorbs the UV light. Well, our skin has its own natural sunscreen called melanin, secreted by melanocytes in the deeper skin. Melanin is responsible for different colors of our skin and hair between black, brown, red, and yellow, depending on where we live and our genetics. Melanin's main function is to protect us from the dangerous UV light. Having tan in sunbath? Yes, that's melanin trying to protect you from the sun. Autoimmune disorders happens when instead of attacking foreign antigens like microorganisms, our own immune system mistakenly attack autoantigens, which are present in our own body cells. And that lead to the conditions like type 1 diabetes, arthritis, and thyroid disease by attacking the pancreas, joints, and thyroid gland respectively. The exact cause of it is unknown, but genetics of some organisms might play a role in confusing the immune system to produce autoantibodies against the body cells. Stress is actually our body's natural mechanism to face threats or dangerous scenarios, often known as stressors. It is influenced by mainly two hormones, cortisol and adrenaline. They elevate our heart rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar levels, preparing us to defend against the stressors. Normally, if the stress-causing event finishes, our body returns to normal and keep homeostasis, the biological equilibrium. But if the stressor don't go away, and that leads to chronic stress, in which our body is constantly under pressure, leading to diseases and disorders. And luckily, there are a lot of ways to prevent stress. As I said earlier, the human body is complicated as well as fascinating. Out of these 7 fascinating facts, for which one do you want a full video dedicated for it? Subscribe and leave a comment down below. Also, make sure to leave any facts you know about the human body, because we can also turn the comment box into a medical and dental knowledge box. That's a terrible joke, but here's what to do if bitten by a venomous snake. Stay safe and keep learning by subscribing.